We're done tomorrow. And I think it's kind of sinking in. I know it's hitting me. Been filming this since April 23rd, kickoff at the Mexican border. And now it's October 3rd. Canada is right there, and this has been done. But I'm gonna miss that right there.
Yeah, we're at the border, bud.
That's Mexico. Look it, there's the fence, man. Look at that's Mexico.
That's Mexico.
Never thought we'd be here, bro.
There it is. So yeah, we're getting here. We got to set up camp right here on the border, and then first thing in the morning we are out.
Squeaks.
Also known as Crest.
Also known as Chris. How'd you get on the trail? What brought you to hiking?
5, 6, 7 years of hiking with this guy.
And this guy is?
Can't Hike 55.
So you guys just got into hiking one day and said, "Hey, bro, let's go do something."
Yeah, we met because we both play instruments, so we were in a band together for years. And one day we were bored, and I said, "Hey, you ever do any hiking?" And so we started off with like 50 plus pounds on our backs and
Cans of chili,
right? And just went from there. My name is John Amorisano, otherwise known on the trail as Can't Hike 55. When Squeaks and I started backpacking, we got 3 miles into Onion Valley and asked ourselves, what the hell are we doing? And turned around and went home. But something still burned inside. We were determined to get into the backcountry. Our second try was a success. We crested Kearsarge Pass and saw the backcountry for the first time. From there I moved on to Summit Whitney, and from the portal made my first 40-mile through hike over Forester Pass and down into Road's End. At that point, my hunger for the trail grew even deeper. Since that first hike with the 50-pound pack, I've hiked the High Sierra Trail, the John Muir Trail in 2012, Grand Canyon National Park, Zion National Park, the John Muir Trail again in 2013, the highest to lowest, which is 140 miles from Whitney to Death Valley, and countless other miles within the Sierra, including 3 more Whitney summits. Then in February 2013, I met Kelso at an REI garage sale. I didn't know it at the time, but this chance meeting would change my hiking life and what the trail meant to me forever. Kelso and I became friends, and I offered to trail angel him when he arrived in Big Bear Lake, where I live. After staying at my house overnight, I decided to hike Section C with him the next day. It was during this hike that I met the most amazing people that I wanted to become a part of, and made the decision to section hike the whole PCT myself. During my 2012 JMT hike, I met Luke from Seattle, Washington. He was section hiking the PCT, and at the time, I thought that was insane. We kept in touch over the past 2 years, and he told me his plans to finish his last section from the Mexican border to Walker Pass in 2014. Next thing I knew, Squeaks and I were on our way to the border. As I arrived at the kickoff at Lake Morena, I would get to see all the friends I hiked Section C with last year. I started asking them and all the 2014 PCT class one question. What do you hope to take away from hiking the PCT? I began to notice a common theme to the answers I was getting.
Incredible people.
The most welcoming people you'll ever meet.
Friends that you meet out here will be your friends and your family for the rest of your life.
Awesome people who are out here.
People
Meet a lot of good people.
Met a lot of great people.
Gave me a new family who I love very much.
People were awesome. Best part of the trail.
It was a rough year personally for me to try and hike this trail. I lost a grandmother and one of my best friends from high school, Allan Goodman. He was only 38 and one badass singer-songwriter whose music will be played throughout this documentary. I am by no means done with my PCT section hikes, but I feel I have seen some of the best of what the trail has to offer and met some of the most awesome people on this planet, which has given me most of the experience that one can get from hiking the PCT. So this is my experience of hiking the Pacific Crest Trail.
where we are across the world. I think that's stronger than a lot of other communities I've ever tried to like join or be a part of.
It did a lot for me. I met a lot of great people and achieved something worthwhile.
This trail really reinstills your faith and hope in humanity because people are awesome.
The most amazing experience that I've ever had. I've met incredible people that are going to be lifelong friends. That's why I'm here this year, to catch up with friends that I met last year. So
I hiked for my dad when he died of a brain tumor. So my brother and I hiked together, and it really kind of settled things for me, and it gave me a new family who I love very much. We got to Mount Whitney on June 16th, which was my dad's birthday and also Father's Day, and it was the week of the five-year anniversary that he passed away. So we spread his ashes on top of Whitney.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
It was such a pleasure hiking with you and the rest of the group. You guys are the reason that I am here today doing this. Thank you. All right, my brother Kelso, the one that turned me on to the PCT, the man.
Turn more people onto it. Convince more people to do it. And, yeah, the community took that away from it and probably always be part of it. Yeah, PCT community.
Right on, brother.
I hope to take away peace, serenity, and sanity. It just makes the whole world slow down and quit spinning.
Hey, there's Luke. How you doing, bud? Doing the PCT with Luke right there. How you been, man?
Good.
I've seen you since 2012.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
Are you ready to do this, man?
Yeah. I'm half psyched and half nervous.
So crazy being here with all these people. This is probably the busiest day at this spot. Crazy. This is awesome. Well, here we go. We are starting. We are out of here. PCT begins now.
Can't hike 55.
That's it. All right, here's our campsite number 83 at Lake Morena, amongst the hundreds of other tents.
It was great to get to Kickoff 20 miles from the border. Even though the clouds started rolling in and the rain started falling, that didn't stop the festivities. They had vendor booths set up to buy and get free gear, seminar classes on all sorts of issues involving the trail, short movies at night from last year's class, and a kind of comedic gear contest. They served us food and even had dessert. It went by in the blink of an eye, and when Sunday morning came, the sun came back out, and it was time to hit the trail, and Section A had begun again.
Okay, that's it. Class of 2014. Congratulations!
What an awesome time it was here. One of the best hiking experiences I've ever had was just being here at the Kickoff. So, what a blast I had at that. I didn't realize how tight the hiking community really is. Almost everybody that I hiked with was here from 2013, and it was really cool seeing all of them again. Leaving the Kickoff, it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. That place empties out real quick. When it's time to go, it's time to go.
Don't surrender, you'll be fine.
As Luke, Chris, and I hit the trail, we suddenly had a train of people behind us. It's a sight to see that many people hitting the trail all at once.
Ridiculous views out here. I mean, we're at mile 46, I think, somewhere around there, give or take. I can see all the way to mile 250 just before my house in Big Bear Lake. Insane views. It was so windy last night. It was the most wind I've ever slept in my life.
That wind sucked, dude. Obviously, I got up in the middle of the night and moved my tent, bro, because I couldn't handle it over there.
Yeah.
It sucked.
Yeah. That was bad. Woo! What do you think about Section A so far?
I think it's gorgeous. I expected dry, hot cactus and desert, and it's green and the flowers are out and it's relatively cool, and hiking, the trail's been great. Just loving it.
This is camp tonight at Rodriguez Truck Trail.
When you're out on your own.
And that's, I guess, Scissors Crossing right there. And then you start climbing up into San Felipe Mountains, see all the switchbacks. But yeah, we still have to walk all the way across the valley to get there, so still a long day ahead of us.
As we started the next day, Luke would pull ahead of us. Chris and I decided to hitch into Julian, and he opted to keep pushing.
Just got back from Julian, back down at Scissors Crossing here, and we're just waiting for the heat to go away before we climb up the San Felipe Mountain. So nap time, got a full belly from Moms and Julian. Yeah. Good pie and feeling good. So, yeah.
We started getting itchy to hit the trail again and start making our 2-day climb up the San Felipe Mountains. Enter Che.
I was working a desk job and I felt like I wasn't being challenged anymore. I felt like it was all making me soft and shit. So I wanted to test myself and, you know, like see what I'm made of. And PCT is this brick wall that I'm throwing myself against, you know? And it's really gonna test me. And I'm gonna see if I'm as strong as I think I am or if I'm just full of shit. So.
I love this guy, he's so honest.
Fuck yeah, brother.
Aren't you guys glad you get brought along for the ride? You're just sitting at your computer, you know? You can hang out with us up here. The internet's fucking awesome, isn't it? What's good on the trail? What's something, you know, I don't know. What's your guys' thing?
You know, usually before I leave, I'll go through my fridge. I'll grab like a T-bone steak. I usually take some shrimp. That usually lasts a long time. And fish is always good, you know.
Fish, like, yeah.
Fresh fish.
Fresh fish, yeah. Especially for the desert sections, because it simmers a little bit.
Yeah, it cooks over 4 days. So that's usually the stuff I bring, yeah.
All right, well, while they're doing the awesome stuff, fucking...
Tons of cocaine, so I don't have to worry about it.
Chris and I camped with Che that night, and we had a blast with him. We ended up hiking with him on and off for the rest of Section A.
Yeah. Yeah, 100. It was like we just passed mile 1 yesterday. All of a sudden, 100 popped up. See, this is it. This is the reason why we hike, is moments like this. Great moments that you just, you know, feels so good to get to milestones like that.
Hooking back up with Luke at Barrel Springs, we knew it was our last night on the trail.
All right, last day on the trail for Section A. And this is it. We got 8 more miles into Warner Springs and time to go home. It's always a bittersweet feeling leaving the trail. So, happy and sad at the same time.
As Chris and I started our last day into Warner Springs, I knew it would be hard to have to go home and leave all of our new friends behind. I knew it would only be for a short while though, because I offered to trail angel all of them when they got to Big Bear.
See you in my house, Big Bear.
Now, trail angels play a big part in hiking the PCT. They provide everything from snacks.
He's giving away chocolate chip cookies.
Right, right there. I make them myself.
So if we start hallucinating later, we'll know that he spiked those cookies.
Yeah.
Free meals at restaurants.
So for PCTers, they give you a free beverage, a free pie, and a free sandwich. So pretty badass place here at Mom's.
Much needed water along dry stretches of the trail.
That's Oasis like gold, in the desert.
Dude. Oasis, man. The master cache.
To places that provide full-on room and board. The Dinsmores open their home to hikers every year. They provide showers, laundry, food, and a big lawn for tents. And if you don't want to pitch, they also have a place with bunks and a TV.
Well, I was able to purchase this piece of property and make a pretty nice place out of it for you. As a kid, I never got the new toys and hid them, so nobody else could play with them. You gotta have them out where everybody can enjoy them, or it's no fun. So that's the way I always felt. That's what I'm doing here.
It's amazing what a little trail magic does for a trail-hardened hiker. And when we brought Luke a little something extra where the PCT crosses Highway 10, needless to say, he was very grateful.
I'm going to rewrite the book of Revelations, and heaven is going to be trail magic, a cheeseburger, and a Sprite. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah, man.
Che was the first to arrive at my house in Big Bear Lake. He stayed for a couple of nights, and the day after he left, my phone started ringing and it was on. It seemed everyone I met in Section A got to Big Bear around the same time, and the driving to and from the trailhead at Highway 18 had begun. Luke, who is a college professor, came up with an idea for him and I to do a show and tell for my oldest son's 3rd grade class. Luke set up his tent and stove, and I did a picture presentation.
So this is what happens when hikers explode in your living room.
That isn't even exploded. That's like contained.
We had Solstice.
More independence, more confidence, a family.
Top Shelf.
A lot of time living outside in nature. I think that was my primary goal when I set off, but I think it's kind of a constantly evolving thing as I move forward in the journey.
Dayglow.
I'm doing the PCT to get out in the woods for a couple months.
And of course, Nectar.
You got a better story? Okay, make sure my mom never hears this.
Okay, you got it.
Last year, I slept with a PCT thru hiker at Timberline Lodge, and I caught PCT fever. It's a new STD. You may not have heard of it before.
Awesome. You rock.
So let's go back to when the PCT fever hit me.
So that's my buddy Kelso. He's doing the whole PCT, and I'm gonna do a section of it from here, Big Bear, Highway 18 to Highway 15.
It's a beautiful day once again in this town. I've been making my way best that I know how. I had to say goodbye, but goodbye for now. But I've been holding strong to something deep down. I wouldn't say I've made plans, but
This is where I met the rest of the gang who eventually opened my eyes to hiking the PCT. Some didn't even have trail names yet.
Be recorded that I don't have a fucking trail name.
We'll get you one, brother.
I know your home is California, but I just want to plant a seed. Maybe you would be happy here in Texas with me.
Yep, that was the group that introduced me to the PCT life, and I'll never forget that night camping with them at the hot springs.
Oh, so kind. Just so you know, nothing has changed in my heart. You still drive me crazy the way you did last summer. Just so.
Got a hold of my good buddy Jim. He's gonna beat us a at the PCT and the 138 right there at Silverwood Lake with pizza and beer. Pizza and beer! Alright, made it to the spillway, and then that far dam way over there is Silverwood Lake. It's a hot day today and very little water in between miles. How's everybody feeling?
Good now that we're in the shade.
Come so far since the spillway. That was about 5 hours ago we were over there. But we're all racing to get to Silverwood.
'Cause we're so damn good, going on getting better.
300 miles to Canada!
It was an amazing experience to share a milestone with them. And it's at that moment when I realized Kelso and the gang were changing me into a PCTer.
4 days on the trail with these guys. It's been one hell of an experience. I can see how doing the whole thing would be an experience of a lifetime. Maybe someday.
Just so you know, nothing has changed in my heart. You still drive me crazy the way you did last summer. Just so you know, I remember all the good times. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you.
Thanks for letting me share the experience with all of you guys.
And to think it all started by being a trail angel for a guy named Kelso.
I think I read hers. Was it the one about like washing your feet and the like don't wash your feet and the yo, what's up? How's it going?
Hiking the PCT isn't just about making the miles and getting from one border to the other as fast as possible. You have to enjoy the time and people in between. It will become one of the most memorable experiences of your life, and the people you meet along the way, no matter how big or small, will have an impact on your life, whether you know it or not. We hike to have fun. Dayglow, Food Chain, and of course Nectar were some of the funniest people on the trail.
We're coming into the fourth turn, folks. We're coming into the final stretch.
It's the final stretch. Oh! Woo! Yeah!
You have to hold it down. You have to keep it down.
Yeah, you gotta keep it down.
I am a sailor after all.
Woo! And this is what Crystal's getting.
Oh, and vodka.
And
I think
vodka.
I'm gonna pre-mix them in a platypus.
So it's not dark yet. I jumped in my tent because Dayglow just told us that there's no squash around here. There's chupacabra. So pretty close to the border and all, you know. So I'm in my tent.
Listen, I told you to relax. Don't do it when you want to do it.
It's amazing that Chris is something happening.
Take me there, I wanna go there. Take me there, I wanna go there to that great lake at the bottom of the valley.
Goddamn, dude. I'm just asking John to annotate the video and to put a little arrow here in the video that says Will's got Mong on the corner of his mouth, and it's Mickey D's Mong, so it's good. It's so disgusting. This is some of the worst tasting shit. Don't ever try this, kids. I mean, it looks like diarrhea in a bag, and that's what it tastes like.
Will and I have come to the conclusion that Noble Lake sucks ass.
This water's poison!
All right, here with Squeaks. We're at where are we? Horseshoe Meadow. Cottonwood Trailhead. Are you ready to do this, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, man. Whitney, for the fourth time?
For the fourth time.
We're off. Let's do it.
Spanish girl, tell me your name.
I didn't expect the really strong community, all the trail magic around it, all the people helping out, and just the awesome people who are out here. And everyone I've met has just been kind of the coolest person I've ever met, so I haven't been disappointed.
These are the crazy girls we are camping with tonight at Chicken Spring Lake.
Squeaks and I met Sarge briefly back in Section A, but didn't get to know her. I recognized her when we got to Chicken Spring Lake. Her mom and sisters were joining her for this section of trail, and they let us share their camp that night. Now, not only would we get to know her, but her family as well, as we made our way toward Whitney.
There's a beautiful moon rising, and it's waiting for you and me. There's a dreamscape in the horizon, waiting for you and me.
You want fish tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah? You want fish tonight?
Yes.
And you want fish tonight?
Salmon.
I don't know if there's any salmon in Whitney Creek.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
You want fish then?
Yeah, definitely.
So everybody wants fish. Golden trout from Crabtree. Frying. Sarge is giving Squeaks a braid.
Yeah, his hair's not naughty at all.
But the rest of them is very naughty.
You would know.
There's Whitney right there in the sun and Crabtree Meadow. I've been here so many times, and every time I walk into this place, it's still as stunning as when I first walked in.
We all camped at Crabtree Meadow, and the next day made our way up to Guitar Lake to stage up for Whitney the following morning. Guitar Lake sits at the base of Whitney, and as you make your way up to it, Whitney just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Hands down, this part of the Sierra is my favorite along the whole trail. The whole stretch from Crabtree up to Guitar Lake is some of the most breathtaking scenery you can experience. Timberline Lake, which sits in between the two, is one of my favorites in all of the Sierra. It just really doesn't get any better than this.
What a scene tonight. Camped at Guitar Lake, right at the base of Mount Whitney. We're at 11.5 and Whitney's at 14.5, so that's still another 3,000 feet we gotta climb. Guitar Lake rocks. No pun intended. That right there is some of the best alpenglow you'll ever see. Doesn't get better than that.
There's a beautiful moon rising, and it's waiting for you and me. There's a dreamscape in the horizon, waiting for you and me. There's a beautiful moon rising, and it's waiting for you and me. There's a dreamscape in the horizon.
Leaving Guitar Lake that morning, this would be my fourth summit of Whitney. The climb never gets easier, but as you trek higher and higher, the views keep getting better and better. Sarge and I became good friends over the course of these 3 days. I was sad that I had to leave after the summit of Whitney that day. Even though it was my 4th time to the top, the views were as stunning as the first. But what really made it was being surrounded by awesome people. And to me, that's what hiking the PCT is all about.
It was awesome sharing the trail with you. Maybe we'll...
Probably run into each other again.
we will. All right, you have a good PCT.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll see you along it.
Yeah.
All right.
We have your contact. Can't wait for your documentary.
As I left Whitney and headed down through the portal, all I could think about was how bad I wanted to hike the JMT again. This stretch of the PCT is hands down my favorite. What's a PCT documentary without some JMT footage, right? Fake Chow, who is my younger brother-in-law, and Squeaks and I hiked the JMT northbound in 2013. I can't think of a better way to hike my favorite part of the trail than to do it with 2 of my best friends. So let us take you over all the high passes from Whitney to Yosemite and show you the spectacular scenery that is the John Muir Trail.
You guys ready to see some shit? Let's go.
Zion and Grand Canyon were cool. It was different, you know, but Sierra's just overall better.
Oh yeah, you can see the hail out there. Yeah, you want to just leave now? Yeah. Whoa, did you see that lightning? Woo! That storm we just went through, sat in a lightning storm at 11,200 feet in our tents. It snowed on Whitney. Look at that. 4th of July, snow on Whitney, started the JMT. Day to remember.
If God does exist, He gave this to us for a reason, and it definitely wasn't to sit inside a house and play video games all day.
Amen. I thought I was gonna have to call it on Muir Pass. Before we got to the hut right around Helen Lake, that was the most pain I was in, and I thought that I was gonna have to give up, man, but persevered through it.
The big passing is just the altitude. You know, like not a lot of people can go out there and do that kind of stuff.
It's those moments where you're just drained and you're done. You're like, dude, I cannot physically go anymore, and then you see that and you're like, this is what I'm here for.
Right. It gives you more energy to keep going.
Woo! Stay and make you believe you're alone. on your own. That's why I'm here, to remind you that I'm your friend. Ease your anxiety, keep from running away. And pride can fool us and make us believe we are strong. In time to confuse us, so we won't know what is right, what is wrong. That's why you're here, to remind me that you are my friend. Help me fight my enemy.
I always learn something new, like just knowing how to survive on your own, stuff like that. Doing everything yourself. You, Chris, you guys teach me a lot of stuff out there.
Those memories and experiences that you carry it with you. I mean, you can document it as much as you want, take pictures, write books. It's never the same unless you actually get to experience it with your friends.
Last bridge, last mile. This is it. Let's do it.
There's no reason to fear. Your life is running beside mine. One look and we know we are not alone. And we'll help each other find our way home.
Here's a tip, and this is only my opinion, but if you can make it through the Sierra, your chances of completing this epic journey to Canada greatly increase. I not only say this because of the extreme altitude and terrain, but mostly because it conflicts with the PCT thru-hikers' pull 20s everyday way of thinking. On one hand, you have to keep moving to make the border before winter hits, and on the other, you're surrounded by some of the most beautiful scenery imaginable that beckons you to slow down and smell the roses, so to speak. It gets inside you, inspires you, and enlightens you. It's called the Range of Light for many reasons. Being a section hiker, I was fortunate enough to journey through the Range of Light with good friends at a slow pace. The Sierra will tempt you to do the same. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I want to find out what's the real story of PCT, not the stuff that you see, like the fluff and all the videos you see on YouTube. There's like, you know, puppies and roses and flowers and you know, like tunnel falls and all of this stuff, but they don't show any of the real agony that really kind of happens. And so I want to see that.
Hiking the PCT isn't all fun and games. Everyone has bad days on the trail.
I'm getting blisters on my feet, you know, ever since the first 20 miles. You know, the first 20 miles is brutal.
There's a multitude of things that can go wrong. Everything from blisters, bad weather, and gear failure.
It's been raining so much that my tent is just starting to leak. Look at this. Totally soaked inside now. My sleeping bag is starting to get a little damp, which is not good.
There's also injuries, some that can end your hike for good. And then there's the unthinkable.
We just heard from another PCT hiker that a 19-year-old kid yesterday died right in this section that we're on right now, climbing that hill back there that we just climbed out of Hauser Canyon. I guess he got real bad heat exhaustion. Yesterday it was really hot, and climbing that 2,000 feet, I guess he was doing it right in the middle of the day too, about 1 o'clock, and they said about 1:30, I guess he called his dad, and an hour later he was declared dead. When you hear stuff like that, it kind of makes you really wonder how fast, you know, something bad can happen like that. You're having a good time out here, you know, and then you hear something like that, and it's just kind of wow, you know.
You can also get bad news from home, as I did during Section A.
So, called my wife from Julian and got some bad news. My grandmother's starting to have a bunch of mini strokes. And it kind of sucks to hear news like that when you're on the trail. But she's 92, so she's lived a long life. And when I edit this video, she probably won't be alive anymore. I got the call at 11:40 on the 4th of July. My grandmother passed away at 11:22. I like to think she went out with a bang. A month after my grandmother passed, Will, a good friend of mine, called and told me he was going to hike from Tahoe to Whitney. I figured I needed to get back on the trail, and there was no better time to hike a section I hadn't seen before. This is where we're catching the PCT right here, Highway 50, Echo Summit. And we're starting our 400-mile Tahoe to Whitney trek right now. It's 1:20, and we hope to be to Whitney by about 11 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, so ultra runners here. Not.
So, here we go, man. We are out of here. Let's hit this.
Let's hit it, man.
Hit it. Woo! And like that, we were off.
The double rotating selfie. I love you, Johnny. Woo! I love you.
The hike started out great. Will and I were having a blast being in new territory, but soon that would all change.
Today is August 15th, and it is my oldest son Dylan's birthday. So naturally I'm really starting to miss my family, just thinking about him and you know, the sacrifices that I make to do these trips. It's only the 4th day and I'm really already starting to miss my family a lot. It's gonna be a long 30 days, but we'll see how it goes. Happy birthday, bud. Love you.
Take care of me, be aware of me, but know that
This was the darkest of all sections for me, and my somber mood started to take a toll on Will and I.
I come to my defense. I could have sworn you were my friend. Nobody wants to lose a friend. It's what's on my mind.
It's so beautiful, words can't describe it. But since John and I are videographers and photographers, that's kind of like our dope. What I said was, this is kind of like being a crack addict in a crack factory.
Despite the scenic beauty, there was something wrong inside, keeping me from enjoying it 100%. I was in a very family-oriented mode during this hike, and I thought I was ready to be on the trail again, but missing Dylan's birthday made it very clear I wasn't.
Will has a satellite phone. He's gonna let me use it to call my son and wish him a happy birthday, which is awesome. Thank you, bud. Hey, buddy, happy birthday. How you doing, bud? You're 9 years old today, huh? Did you have a good birthday? Okay, man, I miss you, buddy. I miss you a lot. I wish I was with you. Well, I miss you guys, and I love you a lot. All right, bye.
From that point on, the trek was doomed. I was missing family way too much to continue on, and it wasn't fair to Will for me to keep going this way. I decided to call it at Sonora Pass.
Everybody wants to make it worse. It's
Will did make it all the way to Whitney. I wish I could have been with him for the whole trek, but there was unforeseen forces at work that had different plans for me.
There goes Will. He's gonna press on. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go home.
I believe things happen for reasons we don't fully comprehend. The way Section J ended with Will seemed bad to me at the time, but life has a way of sorting things out. I initially planned on not hiking the last sections into Canada so that I could trek all the way to Whitney with Will. And if I wouldn't have pulled off at Sonora Pass like I did, I would have missed the calls from Che, Sarge, and Cynic telling me they were all halfway through Washington. But by the time I got organized, Che was already a few days from Canada. With a quick goodbye to family and nothing but my pack with me, I was on a flight to Seattle before I knew it. My plan was to meet Sarge and Cynic on Stevens Pass, but my timing had to be perfect as they lost phone service. Needless to say, I was very anxious as I landed in Seattle, but that would soon disappear when I met up with an old friend.
Look at this, everybody. Who's that right there? How you doing, bud?
Hey, dude. How are you?
Good, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Well, in Seattle, just made it to Luke's house. There's my buddy Luke. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you again, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me in your awesome house.
I stayed the night at Luke's, and he got me to my uncle's the next morning. From there, my uncle got me to Stevens Pass. As I watched hikers come and go, I had no idea where Sarge or Cynic were. I decided to hitch a ride down to the Dinsmores to wait, and guess who we picked up along the way?
We got Cynic. What's up, brother?
Like I said, life has a funny way of working things out. Got dropped off yesterday at Stevens Pass by my uncle, and I'm just hung out at the Dinsmores last night, just hanging out with all the hikers, having such a great time. I haven't even hit the trail yet. I think we're gonna either start later on today or first thing in the morning. I'm probably gonna head out with my buddy Cynic, so we'll see. We ended up staying another night and waiting for Sarge, but she didn't show. Even though the weather report wasn't good, it was time to hit the trail.
This is Jim. He's a friend of the Dinsmores. He gave Cynic and I a ride back to the trailhead, so you ready to do this last 180, bud?
Yes.
Let's do it, man.
Good.
All right, thanks for the ride, bud.
Yeah.
All right, this is it. 180 miles. Starting now to Canada. Let's finish this. All right, the rain has officially started, just like the weather report said it was. So I think it's going to be wet for us for the next 2 to 3 days. So here we go, typical Washington weather begins now.
This part of the trail was very stunning. I had never seen colors so vibrant. But make no mistake, rain will cut you down faster than anything. These first few days in Washington were filled with the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
It's 2 a.m. I've been on this road for hours now. I'm surrounded by brothers, but make no mistake, I am alone here. It's cold and dark.
It's been raining all night.
And I can tell you for sure the only dry spot in this whole forest is right here in my tent. Well, and Cynics. It's gonna be another wet day.
My heart is broken. Only an American gone. No, I can't afford to break. I have got to keep moving on.
Alright, so Cynic and I are right here on Red Pass. It just got too cold, rainy and wet, so we decided to call it. We found this flat spot right here in this ridge, and we're literally right on the trail at mile marker 2515. And we just decided to pitch because we were just cold, wet, miserable. My upper body was soaked. Cynic's feet were just soaked and killing them. And just, it was not a good situation at all. It's going on 3:30, 4 o'clock right now. We might, if we get warm enough and the rain holds off, it stopped raining, but now it's getting windy, we might take off and get off this ridge. This is one of the hardest days hiking for me mentally that I've ever had, so a little concerned. See what happens. Now, remember I said the highest of highs and the lowest of lows? We were definitely at one of the lowest points right there, and we couldn't get warm enough to get back on the trail. As luck would have it, I had to pee really bad, and when I poked my head out of my tent, our moods instantly soared right back up to one of the highest points along the trail.
I think it was worth it now, huh, to stay right here?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
I'm glad we made this decision.
Damn! Today was so bad, and then look at what we got going tonight. Look at this, people. Are you ready for this? Oh my god. Look at that. Are you kidding me?
Here among us is a dream of better days. Knock on the door.
Yeah, we almost left. So glad we didn't. Oh my god, amazing. I'm so glad I had to take a pee.
Me too.
You know, all the crap that happened earlier today was totally worth it to go through all that for the view that we just got. What do you think, man?
Absolutely, man. This is why we hike, flat out.
Woo!
But the lowest was still to come. Since we got in our tents after last night's sunset, it's been raining nonstop all night. And to top it off, a mouse ate a hole through my tent trying to get to my food. Woke up to that about 4 o'clock this morning. So, this is just horrible. This is beyond miserable.
Here among us is a dream of better days. Knock on the door.
As we set out from Red's Pass, we were now on our third day of rain. We ran into Lapdog and Slow-Mo and started hiking with them, hoping that more company would take our minds off the misery. At times, the sun would peek out and give us a glimmer of hope.
What do you think of that?
That's pretty awesome.
Being from Southern California, I didn't realize what it does for the soul when you live without it for a length of time. And all too soon, it would disappear behind the clouds again. But we kept trudging forward.
And what's your worst part of the PCT?
Today, this whole stretch, 4 days of rain, non-stop. This has been the toughest part for sure, no doubt.
And what's your worst part of the PCT?
This.
Today also?
Well, not today, but the whole stretch. It's beautiful, but I'm cold and miserable, and I'm angry that I don't see any of the beauty that surrounds me, and I just want to get done and be dry.
As we set camp that night, tired, soaked, and cold, we knew we had to prepare mentally for the coming day that would bring more of the same. This day would be my lowest point on the trail, and I contemplated bailing out several times.
All right, you could see the ice starting to form on these plants. Thinking about maybe bailing out. I don't know, this is not good. Yeah, it's sleeting right now, so. See what happens.
The weather report showed clearing for the upcoming days, and that along with the pure beauty of the Northern Cascades were the only things keeping us all going. Soon we would find out that all of our bitching and complaining about the weather couldn't even hold a candle to the reason Slow-Mo was hiking this trail.
3 years ago, my oldest son was bicycling across the United States and killed by an out-of-control dump truck. And then last year, my wife of 40 years died. And I was sitting at home and surrounded by all these memories and not handling it well. And so I decided that I need to do something to kind of break the cycle that I was in. And so I wanted something that was different than we'd ever done as a family. I wanted something that was physical, and I wanted something that was an adventure. And I came up with the PCT. Don't ask me why. And so I took off, and after I'd been on it for about 3 days, I knew that I'd made the right decision.
Yes.
Yeah. My name, Slow-Mo, is a takeoff from my oldest son's nickname,
Yeah, with all these stories,
J-Mo.
it comes
And,
an ending.
but as it turns out, I'm pretty slow, so the name fits. You know? I didn't start because I wanted to like hike the whole PCT. I just needed to do something. I needed to get out, and I didn't really care whether or not I finished the PCT. However, since we're so blasted close, I'm gonna finish it.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bud.
That's it.
Here among us is a dream of better days. Knock on the door before you come in. Yeah, the wind is blowing visions of way back when. Here among us, man. Here among us, friends. Here among us.
Look at that, clear skies. We are above the low fog layer. We're at Dolly Vista Camp. We camped with about 500 mountaineers.
Exact couch.
We like to live in luxury, okay?
Look at this, there's 4 one-man tents, and what size are your tents? Are they 8-man?
25, man.
25-man tents. There's lap dogs, Slow-Mo, another 25-man tent, and then Cynic's tent, all in this little area. But look at that view we got. Yeah!
Oh,
Yeah! Everybody say yeah to the sun! Woo!
Leaving camp that morning, it was as if everyone was energized by the sun. The forest was alive again and drying out. Instead of taking the new reroute that added almost 5 miles and led to a new bridge, we decided to take the original PCT route to the Sual River.
We renamed this Pack Explosion Beach. Everybody's just emptying out everything to dry it.
There we met up with Sacred Cow, Caboose, Trolley, and Party Favor. Our group of 4 had now become 8. Our goal? Find the infamous log crossing and make it to Stehekin.
We still do. How it was that we got here is none of my concern. I only know what you mean to me.
I was on Forester Pass and I looked around and
the horn was born.
The horn was born. You know, you gotta blast it from the mountaintops. You gotta let the world know that you were there.
I'm on a bigger and better, a now or never way of thinking, way of feeling. I'm on the stronger and tougher, harder and rougher, and I feel good the way we all should as we roll through this life.
A little bit of everything, the hard times, the good times, the bad times. It's a little bit of everything. And the only way to find out what I'm talking about is to do it yourself.
Don't come to Washington, it's very wet here. No, just kidding.
What the hell's so funny about that? All right? I like Silver Surfer and 816 is my area code. All right?
With spirits high, we hiked into the night. Somehow we managed to squeeze 5 tents plus Trolley and Party Favor into a spot no bigger than a bedroom, but with one hell of a view.
I'm on a bigger and better, a now or never way of doing things. I'm on the stronger and tougher, harder and rougher, and I feel good the way we all should as we roll through this life, loving as much as we.
With 16 miles left to Stehekin, we were all in high gear. At one point, Cynic and I were trekking 6 miles an hour, and somehow we all made it to High Bridge by 12:30.
There it is. We have made it.
Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
For anyone who's never been to Stehekin or plans on not stopping in during their hike, trust me, it's well worth it. A shuttle bus takes you from High Bridge into town, stopping along the way at what should be a world-famous bakery, in my opinion.
All right, we just stopped at the bakery. I didn't even pull the camera out because I don't care. We're just all munching. They sold pizza there. We got pie. We got calzones, cookies, chocolate milk. Awesome.
With around 75 permanent residents, Stehekin is a tiny town that sits on the northern shoreline of Lake Chelan. There's only 3 ways to get into this town, and none are by driving. One is by a seaplane, and if you get airsick, hopefully you don't get seasick, because the only other transportation is by boat. And both come in from the easily accessible east end of the 50-mile-long lake. Otherwise, you'll be hiking in as we did to the PCT trailhead on the west end. Cynic and I decided to split a room at the lodge. It was so great to be able to take a hot shower, relax, and enjoy the dry comfort. That night we treated ourselves to an awesome dinner.
This is what life is all about after being on a cold, wet trail. Look at that, bacon-wrapped meatloaf. Insane. What'd you get?
Pork loin, pan-seared pork loin and apple butter sauce.
Can you tell we're happy? Bottle of wine, fine dine. Yeah, buddy.
The next day we were 15 minutes away from leaving, and as luck would have it once more, when I went upstairs to get my pack, guess who was there?
That's Sergeant Melanie.
Yes.
Yes. How'd you like that rain?
I hated it. It broke me.
Broke you?
Yes, it made the rest of the trail seem easy.
Doesn't it? Was that the hardest part of the trail so far for you?
Yes, 100%.
I know. Isn't it great to sit on that nice leather couch right now?
If I don't have to move, I'm not gonna move.
Overlooking the lake right here. Look at that. It's great to see you again. We're gonna walk through the monument together, all of us. And just like that, we were staying another night. At dinner, I got to meet Whispers, Gypsy, No Mayo, Danger Spoon, Eeyore, and, of course, Testament, who I actually met for the first time back in Section A.
I'm learning to walk.
Oh, that's a good reason right there.
The experience has been a great one, just to be able to see what I wanted to see, because I've been living in Florida my whole life. I haven't seen the West Coast before, and I thought this would be a great chance to do so.
The West Coast is particularly beautiful, so this has been something I've wanted to do for several years, and now I've almost completed it. Can't wait to do it again. And I just like the simplicity of it all, walking every day, and then when you're hungry you eat, when you're tired you sleep, and then you do the same thing the next day.
Oh, it's a video. I thought I was posing for a picture.
Nope.
That
Video.
was my model face. People were way nicer than I expected them to be, so that was awesome and a really pleasant surprise.
Just out here to do it again. I mean, didn't finish it, and that's, I don't know. And then a million other reasons. I mean, it's a cool trail.
It's like life, really. I mean, you're out here and it's hard. It's not easy. You have challenges every day.
I realized at dinner this would be the crew Cynic and I would cross the border with. We all hung out into the night anticipating the last 80 miles of trail. Being October 1st, and with a cold front moving in, we were anxious to get moving the next morning. Back at the trailhead, it started sprinkling, but nobody gave a shit. There was a buzz in the air. Everyone was in a great mood. This was our last 80 miles, and we were going to Canada no matter what.
Faces of friends I've forgotten, taste of the smoke in the air, hearts have gone and disappeared.
Awesome views right here. One of my favorite areas so far on this whole trip.
And it's not raining.
And it's not raining.
That helps with the whole favorite area thing, I think.
All this time, I can't wait until we're on the road, holding it together. I can tell you all you need to know when it's time to go. Run with me tonight. All we've got is time, blood and wine.
Yeah, we can see Canada as the crow flies. Distance-wise, we are 35 miles away. And those peaks are definitely over 35 miles away. There it is. The finish is in sight. Woo! Hey, I just want to say one thing. You guys are killing the filmmaker.
And they were, too. We had trekked 70 miles since we left Stehekin 3 days earlier. Everyone was moving with a purpose now.
Yeah, I just told everybody this is our last sunset on the PCT. I think it's kind of sinking in. I know it's hitting me. Been filming this since April 23rd, kickoff at the Mexican border. And now it's October 3rd, Canada. trees right there, and this has been done. But I'm gonna miss that right there.
As we walked through our last sunset on the trail, I think it's safe to say everyone was feeling the same way. On one hand, we had this overwhelming joy, and on the other, sadness.
What do you think of that last sunset, brother?
That's a good one. Real good. A lot of good sunsets, but it's nice to have a really good last one.
It's a surreal feeling to get to this point. After all, this was our last night on the PCT.
You don't need it anymore.
Yeah, last night, man. It's just cowboy camp.
Ritualistic.
Let's burn all our
Burn
tents
all our
down.
possessions.
Burn them all!
Very smoky in here.
Waking up at Hopkins Lake that last morning, we had 7 miles to make it to Canada. But it felt more like 1. When you don't want something to end, it seems to go by a lot faster.
Last mile, everyone! That's it. One more to go. Canada, here we come.
And out of nowhere, there it was.
There's the border, the line cutting the trees right there, and the monument's right down in there. Here we go.
So I've had this since Campo. I've had it every mile I've been on the trail. I got it at Scout and Frodo's because I thought I might want alcohol, and I just never drank it, and I just kept having it, so I figured why not take it all the way. So now I'm here. I'm gonna drink it.
Bottoms up.
We hung out at the monument for a couple of hours, just taking it all in. At this very moment, for many of us standing there, a chapter in life was coming to an end. I believe there's 2 stages of emotions you go through when a trek of this magnitude comes to an end. The first, happiness. You're thankful you've completed it and it's over. The second, I think, hits everyone at a different time. It's sadness. But we were still in the moment. There was no time for that yet.
It'll hit us later.
After all, we still had 8 more miles of trail left to get to Manning Park before it was officially over.
You're not slow-mo, you're Stan right now.
Thank you, Stan. All right.
Thank you.
Remember my name. Yeah. Hot dog.
He's putting Cynic and I up in this awesome little cabin and he's gonna comp us on it. So thanks, buddy.
I'm coming back for something later.
You're awesome, bud. Even though we're off the trail, this is the last night with everybody, and good times. Gonna miss everyone.
The next morning, Luke picked up Slow-Mo, Sarge, Cynic, and I, and drove us back across the border into the U.S. As I sat in the airport in Seattle waiting for my flight home, that second emotion of sadness started to kick in. And during the flight home, it got stronger and stronger. I could see parts of the trail from my window, like the JMT in the Sierra, and Silverwood Lake with the surrounding Mojave Desert, but it still felt good as I landed back home in Southern California. Driving home from the airport, I would cross the PCT at Highway 18, where my journey began a year and a half earlier with Kelso. As I pulled over to stand at the trailhead, every emotion that this trail can bring out of you hit me all at once.
Now that we're alone, I wanna tell you.
Sad that it was all over. Sad that I didn't know when, if ever, I would get to see all the awesome friends I made along the trail. But happy that I met them. Happy that I got to experience this amazing trek from Mexico to Canada.
Hey everybody, I want to raise a toast. It was a pleasure and an honor to hike with all of you guys. I know I didn't do the whole thing, but you guys are some of the most awesome people I've met along the trail, and thanks for having me.
Whether you section or through hike the PCT, you never entirely leave the trail. It stays with you, and you leave a piece of yourself out there, somewhere.
And I will never pretend I love you more than anything. I will always, always be your friend. Always be your friend. Come on, baby, show me where it's at. 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 She's a tomboy and she's feminine. She's quirky and graceful at the same time. She's reliable and she's restless. She'll call you out when you're out of line. She's a sweetheart and a fighter. She'll do exactly what she wants to do. She'll pick your spirits up before they fall down. She'll think too much when you don't want her to. She relaxes and she fixates. She'll jump from subject to subject and back again. She's distracted and she listens. She wants you to say exactly what you're feeling. Well, every time I'm next to her, my heart starts to pound. I ain't fucking around. I'm just falling hard with every smile she gives me. Falling hard with every song we sing. I've been talking in circles, boring my friends to death. Can't know what the future brings. But I'm know what the future brings.
Lesson learned. I don't know what the lesson is, but something learned.
There's one in there somewhere.
There's one in there somewhere.